Common law and the American government. John Adams said, "Liberty cannot be preserved without a general knowledge among the people." Common law derives from God. Common law comes from God and is the supreme law of the land. In Hebrews chapter 10, verse 16 in the Bible, it says, "This is the covenant that I will make with them after those days, says the Lord. I will put my laws into their hearts, and in their minds I will write them." And in Romans chapter 2, verses 14 through 15, it says, "Indeed, when Gentiles who do not have the law do by nature things required by the law, they are a law for themselves, even though they do not have the law. They show that the requirements of the law are written on their hearts, their consciences also bearing witness, and their thoughts sometimes accusing them, and at other times even defending them." Common law. Common law has a rights theory and a law theory. Common law rests on the framework of core principles, core ideas, and core beliefs. Common law derived its roots from ecclesiastical laws and was formed in England. As distinguished from the Roman law, the modern civil law, the canon law, and other systems, the common law is that body of law and juristic theory which was originated, developed, and formulated and administered in England. As distinguished from law created by the enactment of legislatures, the common law comprises the body of those principles and rules of action relating to the government and security of persons and property, which derive their authority solely from usages and customs of immemorial antiquity. William Blackstone. William Blackstone lived in England and had a profound understanding of the history and principles of the common law. His first lecture on the English common law was in 1753. Those lectures became the basis of his 4-volume work on the commentaries on the laws of England from 1765 to 1769. His work had a substantial role in the birth of America through the Founding Fathers. Blackstone's common law theory. His theory was that God created the universe and mankind. God created laws to govern the physical universe and moral laws to govern human conduct. God established these moral laws when he created the human race. These moral laws are considered to be eternal and unchangeable. These laws are referred to as the laws of nature or natural law. It was the original constitution of the universe. This law of nature is an eternal and immutable rule of right, a rule of moral conduct. These laws are binding all over the world at all times in every circumstance to all human beings. Inalienability of rights. Introduced in the 12th century AD by Catholic theologians, England was a Catholic country, and these precepts were transferred into English common law. Rights of human nature are a component part of the image of God in mankind. Inalienable means rights that cannot be sold, traded, transferred, conveyed, disposed of, or given away. No human laws should be permitted to contradict these rights. The duty of government is to acknowledge these rights and to protect them through laws and just procedures. Common law rights. The right to life. Each human being has an absolute duty to live one's life for God. The right to property. The basic right to own property is a trait of personhood placed in human nature by the Creator. The right to liberty. Acting as one thinks fit, without any restraint or control, being a right inherent in us by birth, given by God. The right to pursue happiness. True happiness exists only in obedience to God and His laws. Inherent means to exist in, to abide in a person. Black's Law, 5th edition. Liberty. Trade liberty for safety or money, and you'll end up with neither. Liberty, like a grain of salt, easily dissolves. The power of questioning, not simply believing, has no friends, yet liberty depends on it. Quote from Thomas Jefferson. Declaration of Independence, 1776, states, this is only part of the Declaration, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness." Unalienable rights means incapable of being aliened, that is, sold or transferred. Order of authority. Number 1, God. God created the earth and the laws of nature. He has supreme authority. Number 2, we the people. God created people. God gave dominion of the earth to the people. Number 3, the states' constitutions. The people created the state constitutions, retaining all individual rights of the people. Number 4, the federal constitution. The states created the federal constitution, retaining rights of the states. Only limited powers were granted to the federal government. The created does not rule over the creator. William Penn said, "Men must be governed by God, or they will be ruled by tyrants." Blackstone's inalienable rights and citizenship. Inalienable rights are given by God, but should be written into law and protected by the arm of the state. The government must fully grasp the meaning of inalienable rights and citizens' right to avoid abridging those rights. Abridge means to lessen, diminish, deprive. These rights must be part of civil law and be enforced as civil immunities, areas which the person is immune from government's reach or misconduct. The purpose of constitutional rights serves as a means for protecting and securing inalienable rights. Inalienable means rights that cannot be sold, traded, transferred, conveyed, disposed of, or given away. The beginnings. The first colonies to write bills of rights were Maryland in 1639 and Massachusetts in 1641. On January 5, 1776, New Hampshire's Provincial Congress adopted the first state constitution. Massachusetts was the last of the states to write and adopt its first constitution, which they ratified in 1780. Bills of rights were created before the constitutions in many states. What is a constitution? Constitute means to set, to fix, to enact, to establish, to form or compose, to give formal existence to make a thing what it is. Constitution means the act of constituting, enacting, establishing, or appointing, the state of being, that form of being or peculiar structure and connection of parts which makes or characterizes a system or body. Those definitions are from the American Dictionary of the English Language, 1828. State constitutions were the foundations. A written constitution generally describes the structure of a government. It also identifies rights guaranteed to the people. A written constitution is superior to all laws enacted by legislature. By 1780, all the first state constitutions, including their Bill of Rights, plus that of Vermont, had created most of the building blocks that were used to draft the U.S. Constitution at the Philadelphia Convention in 1787. The signing of the Federal Constitution, September 17, 1787. The Republic States. Each state created a republican form of government where representatives are elected by the people to handle the administration of government. The people remain the sovereigns, which means supreme in power. The states made clear that the rule of law would control their republican governments. John Adams of Massachusetts wrote that a republic is an empire of laws and not of men. State Constitution versus Federal. United States Constitution Amendment 10 says, "The powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively, or to the people." The order is preserved. First is God, second the people, third the state, and fourth federal. We the people. The people created the state constitutions, reserving the sovereign rights of the people in the Bill of Rights. The states got together and created a federal constitution, reserving the independent state rights and the sovereign rights of the people. The Bill of Rights are the highest laws of the land, common to all Americans. We the people have the highest status, standing, and jurisdiction under the common law, which is outlined in the state's Bill of Rights. That which was created is not more powerful than the ones that created it. Status definition. Status means standing, state or condition, social position. The legal relation of individual to rest of the community. The rights, duties, capacities, and incapacities which determine a person to a given class. A legal personal relationship, not temporary in its nature, nor terminable at the mere will of the parties, with which third persons and the state are concerned. Standing definition. Standing means one's place in the community in the estimation of others, his relative position in social, commercial, or moral relations, his repute, grade, or rank. The people created the state constitution, therefore the people are outside above it. The people are sovereign, the highest in rank. Jurisdiction definition. Juris is Latin and it means of right, of law. Dicto, Latin, means delivery, speech, pronounce. So in other words, your lawful right to pronounce. Jurisdiction means the power or right of exercising authority. These definitions came from the Noah Webster 1828 dictionary. Abraham Lincoln said, "We the people are the rightful masters of both Congress and the courts, not to overthrow the Constitution, but to overthrow the men who pervert the Constitution." In summary, common law principles come from God and the Christian Bible. God created laws of nature and gave people dominion. Common law is based on principles and rules of action relating to the government and security of people, property, and individual rights. The American government was established based on common law, and all states were created as republics where the people are supreme in all power and the rule of law directs our republican government. The people are sovereign, supreme in power, over government, and are the highest in rank for status, standing, and jurisdiction. Thank you for listening.